unboxing for March of 2023. If you're excited for this one, make sure you hit that like button down below. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of any of the movies that we end up talking about in this video. And please consider subscribing if you are new. Sorry, just adjusting my camera a little bit. For those of you that don't know what Horror Pack is a subscription service. Once per month, you get 4 DVDs or 4 Blu-rays in the mail. I go with the Blu-ray pack. It's for about $25 a month, and it's all horror movies. You get some exclusives in there. It's a pretty cool service. This is my 3rd year of doing it. I've really enjoyed it and gotten some movies I really ended up liking. Movies I didn't end up liking, but movies I really ended up liking that I never would have watched before. So it's been really cool for me. There is a link down in the description to go check them out if you are interested. It is not an affiliate link or anything like that. It's just something for you to go check out. But guys, if you have been here for my previous Horror Pack unboxings, there's going to be 2 things different from now on. Number 1, you're not going to see any trailer footage from the movies. Now, I apologize for that, but I'm trying to avoid copyright. It's basically what it comes down to. Those videos were getting copyright claimed, and we're trying to avoid that from now on. The other thing is I'm going to go back to the previous month's movies and kind of let you know what I thought about the movies that I watched. So I've got those sitting right there, and that's how we're going to start the video, and then we're going to get into the new pack. So these are actually the movies from February of 2023. Starting off with this one, Bad Dreams. This was the Horror Pack exclusive, and my thoughts on this one are that I didn't watch it. This is the one I haven't watched yet. I do apologize for that, guy. I just did not get time to watch this one, but I did watch the other 3. So I'm going to put that aside right there, and we're going to start off with the Forever Purge. Now, I was a little bit nervous about this one. I've only ever seen the original Purge, and I didn't really like that movie. So I didn't think I would like this movie. I ended up liking it more than I thought I would. I definitely like it more than the original. It's not great. It's kind of like a horror thriller movie more than anything. It's got a lot of social, like, heavy-handed social commentary in there, which, I mean, it's okay. Like, that doesn't bother me too much, but it is a little heavy-handed. But it is what it is, guys. It was okay. I'll give it 3 out of 5 stars on this one, the Forever Purge. Not bad. The next one, open 24 hours. This movie was interesting. What I wasn't expecting, it's a slasher movie with some kind of like psychological horror things thrown in. That was the part I didn't really like. I think they could have gotten rid of the psychological horror part of it, because it was one of those psychological horror movies where, you know, they make you think something's happening and then it really isn't happening, and it just completely cuts the tension of the movie. And slashers rely on tension so heavily that when you're cutting the tension over and over again, I think you're undermining your own scares. But other than that, this movie was a lot better than I thought it would be. In fact, I overall really enjoyed it. It had some good effects in it, practical effects. The story was pretty decent outside of the psychological horror aspects of it. I enjoyed this. I'm actually going to give it 4 out of 5, despite my criticisms of it. It was a good movie. I recommend, if you haven't seen this movie, go check it out. It was not a bad movie. And last but not least, The Fanatic. So this movie I had heard of before I got. It was directed by Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit fame, and starring John Travolta. And it was kind of infamous in my mind of being a really, really bad movie. I put it in, and it also has Devon Sawa in it, which I was surprised by, and he puts in a good performance. John Travolta in this movie, what's funny about him is because it's such a low budget movie and there are these actors around him that are not great actors, it makes you realize how good of an actor John Travolta is, which we can sometimes forget since he's been like outside of the limelight for how long now. what surprised me about this movie is that I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. It's not a bad movie. Um, there's certain aspects of it. He's John Travolta's playing an autistic character in this movie, and there's definitely some stereotyping of autistic people in here that could be offensive to some. But it's he's doing a good job with the material that he's given. Um, so I'm gonna give this actually 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I mean that as a high 3.5. I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought I would. So those are the movies from February. Let's go ahead and get to the reason that you guys actually came here, and that's the March horror pack. So we do have a slipcover in here, so we're gonna save that one for last. Save the best for last type deal, and we're gonna get the first one out. All right. Looks like we got the 2018 Halloween. I already own it. Jamie Lee Curtis returns to her iconic role as Laurie Strode, who comes to her final confrontation with Michael Myers, the masked figure who has haunted her since she narrowly escaped his killing spree on Halloween night 4 decades ago. Master of Horror John Carpenter joins forces with director David Gordon Green and producer Jason Blum in his follow-up to Carpenter's 1978 classic. I like this movie a lot. I know some people had their problems with it. I also liked Halloween Kills more than a lot of people did. I haven't watched Halloween Ends yet, but so I don't really know how the trilogy closes itself out. But this one I really enjoyed. It's probably like my third favorite Halloween movie behind the original and H2O, which H2O was the first Halloween movie I saw as a kid, so of course it has nostalgia for me. But I like this movie. This is a good get. This is a good get. It's a little bit older, but it's a mainstream movie. Sometimes you get that in horror packs. Sometimes you get the lower budget stuff. Just a good variety. I think this next one's going to be the horror pack exclusive, and it is. It is horror pack exclusive number 81, and it is called Angel. After his daughter goes missing near an abandoned town, wealthy contractor Benjamin Weaver employs investigative journalists and her team to probe into Raven Rock's shady history in hope of finding answers. Soon they realize the horrifying truth that Raven Rock is not so abandoned. A mysterious figure named Angel still haunts the town. Huh. So like a ghost story maybe? They say haunts the town, but that might not mean ghost. That's interesting. I'm trying to figure out when this came out. I'm looking for a year here. I don't see one. Oh, there it is. 2017. I've never heard of this before. See, that's what. Here's the big variety, man, with Horror Pack. You get a movie that's mainstream, that pretty much everyone's seen, and you can add to your collection if you don't have it already. And then you get one that you haven't heard of that might be a hidden gem. So that's the exciting part right there. Alright, what do we got next? Save the slip cover for last, and we've got... Oh. Well, this is another benefit of the horror pack. Sometimes you get 2 movies in one. We got a combo pack of The Watcher and The Skeleton Key. I have seen both of these movies. The Skeleton Key I've seen a lot more recently. The Watcher I saw way back in the day. I think this is the movie I'm thinking of. Okay, so The Watcher, after years of pursuing psychotic killers in Los Angeles, FBI agent Joel Campbell, played by James Spader, wants out, and now his nemesis serial killer David Allen Griffin, played by Keanu Reeves, has tracked him all the way to Chicago just to torment him. Before each murder, Griffin sends Campbell a photograph of his intended victims and dares him to find her before he strikes again. Now, with every tick of the clock and amidst pure pulse-pounding action, the stone-cold killer turns up the heat. Co-starring Oscar winner Marissa Tomei, this game of cat and mouse will have you gasping for breath at the first terrifying frame until the final explosive conclusion. I do remember this movie. I haven't seen it in years. It's from like the late 90s, I want to say 2000. It came out right around the same time as it was like Keanu starred in The Replacements and this at the same time. I remember that distinctly. I remember enjoying it. Well, I'm actually looking forward to watching that movie again. It's been a long time. And in The Skeleton Key, Kate Hudson stars in a supernatural thriller that weaves a tale of terror and suspense when Caroline Ellis, played by Hudson, takes a job in Louisiana bayous. She unlocks a deadly secret involving magic, conjure, and sacrifice that pulls her into a terrifying world of strange, frightening, and unexplained incidents. The key to escaping may lie in a decrepit attic, but if she dares to believe in what she discovers, everything she fears will become real. Filled with endless suspense and bone-chilling scares, hold on for the terrific ride with one of the best twists since The Sixth Sense. I also remember that movie being good. So that's a couple of older movies that I don't have in my collection. I've seen both of them. I know I enjoyed them the last time I watched them, so that is kind of cool. That's a good add to my collection there. Let's see what this last one is. This has been a pretty good horror pack so far. Okay. Night of the Animated Dead. Okay. What begins as a simple visit to a gravesite soon escalates in night of sheer terror in this dark animated retelling of the 1968 cult classic Night of the Living Dead. Bloodthirsty zombies suddenly begin massing everywhere as Barbara, Ben, and an odd group of strangers hide in a remote farmhouse. Their struggle to ward off flesh eaters outside of the fierce tension inside, containing terrifying new content not found in the original. Night of the Animated Dead will convince you to lock your doors. I'm curious about this. Obviously, Night of the Living Dead is an absolute classic. Love that movie. I think I've heard of this before. And if I do remember correctly, it is notoriously poorly animated and poorly voice acted. So that might be the dud. But who knows? Who knows? I might watch it, end up loving it. And I'll let you guys know how that works out next month. But, guys, let me know. Have you seen any of the older movies? Have you seen any of the newer movies? Let me know what you thought of them down in the comments. Other than that, I hope you have a good one.